All right, fifth graders, we should be getting in the groove with these dividing decimal problems. Why don't you go ahead and make your estimate, and some of you might go ahead and use a friendly number. Others of you might be thinking multiplication. So hit pause, fill out the how I estimated portion. All right, you guys, you're back. Many of you probably were thinking multiplication, so you're going 6 times what will get me close to 9 and 39 hundredths, and you probably said 1. And so we know we're going to be in the ones place. And if perhaps you were using friendly numbers, then you either would have did 6 divided by 6 is 1, or maybe you went to 12 and you did 12 divided by 6 equals 2. In any of those cases, you'll know we stay in the ones place. So then we'll go ahead and do the division, and you can hit pause and do the division and then check your answer. If you get stuck at any time, hit play and we can do it together. Alrighty, you're back, ready to do this problem. So how many sixes can you make out of 9? 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Subtract, we get 3. Bring down the 3. How many sixes can you make out of 33? 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, and we get 39. And so then the question is, how many sixes can we make out of 39? And that. All right, and so how many sixes out of 39? That would be 6. And 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract, and we get 3. And we cannot have a remainder when we are dividing with decimals. And so what we actually can do here, guys and gals, is we could have a 0 back here because that's not going to change the value of our number. And we can now bring down the 0, and how many sixes can we make out of 30? And that would be 5, and then we would subtract 30 and have 0. So if we go back to our estimate and we know we're supposed to be close to 1, that would tell me that I would need to put my decimal point right here. And since I tried to keep things lined up, I also can see that my decimal point would scoot right up. And there's my quotient for the first problem. I suppose I should put my answer right up here on the line, my decimal point. There we go. Alrighty, here is our next problem, and so you should go ahead and make your estimate. You can hit pause and do that. Alright, so I'm going to be thinking about multiplication when I estimate. All right, and so I'm going to be thinking 4 times what gets me close to that 15 and 4/10. And I'm thinking, well, 4 times 4 would be 16. 4 is in the ones place. Then I'll do the problem exact, and again, you can hit pause and give it a whirl on your own. You could certainly hit play at any point to check in with me if you're getting stuck. All right, how many 4s can we make out of 1? That would be none. How many 4s can we make out of 15? That would be 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, we get 3. Bring down the 4. How many 4s can we make out of 34? And that would be 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Subtract, and I get 2. And again, I have that issue where I'm going to have a remainder of 2, which we cannot have when we are dividing decimals. But 15 and 4/10 is the same as 15 and 40 hundredths. And so I can go ahead and put that 0, not change the value of the number I have, and now bring down the 0 and ask myself, 4 times what would give me 20? And that would be 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Then now I have 0. Then I look at my estimate. I'm supposed to be close to 4 in the ones place. So that tells me I should put my decimal right here. Again, if I keep everything nice and lined up, then all I have to do is scoot my decimal point straight up. But I always want to make sure that it jives with my estimate. Already, have you flipped your page? You should be on the back side now. We have 7 and 43 hundredths divided by 3. You can click pause, make your estimate, and then would you check and see if we're in agreement? If you are multiplying, you would be thinking 3 times what gets me close to 7 and 43 hundredths. And I'm thinking 3 times 2 is 6, which gets me in the neighborhood. If you said 3 times 3 is 9, that's fine too. Either way, 2 or 3 for my estimate, I know I'm going to be in the ones place. And now I need to do the problem exact. Again, you can go ahead and hit pause and then just check in with me at any time if you get stuck. Otherwise, check your work at the end. All right, 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract, I get 1. Bring down the 4. How many 3's can I make out of 14? And that would be 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, I get 2. Bring down the 3. How many 3's can I make out of 23? And that would be 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Subtract, and I get 2. And so I will need to put that 0 again. And how many 3's can I make out of 20? Well, that would be 6. Subtract. I get 2 again. So put another 0. 20 again. How many 3's can I make out of 20? Oh, that's 6. Which, uh-oh, Mrs. Gilzer. Whew, there we go. Got my page back. And so we were saying 3 times 6 is 18, and so I would get 18 again, subtract, and I get 2 again, and I could put another 0 and bring down the 0. And are you noticing anything? What's going to keep on happening? Aha! I'm just going to keep on getting 6 after 6 after 6. And that means I'm going to actually have what's called a repeating decimal. And so if we go back to our estimate, we said we should be in the ones place, somewhere around 2. That tells me my decimal point is going to go right here. And as a matter of fact, I kept things lined up. I could scoot it right up. So it's 2 decimal point 4 7 6 6, and I could keep having 6's going on forever. And so the way I'm going to record that is with a repeating bar. And if you think you know how, push pause and write down what the answer should be and then see if you wrote it correctly. 2 decimal point 4 7 6. The 6 is the part that keeps repeating, so I put a repeating bar only over the 6. Can you see it there? My repeating bar. It's just a line right over the 6. Nice work. All right, let's give this last one a whirl. We have been running into some interesting situations, and I want you to know we're going to do more work with dividing decimals. This is kind of like a little preview for you on how to deal with some of these situations. So let's see what's going to happen here in letter G. Go ahead and make your estimate, and again, you can hit pause while you're doing that. So 9 times what will get me close to 84? And I'm thinking, well, 9 times 9 is 81. That's going to get me pretty close. 9 times 10 is 90, so 10's a little bit too big. So I know I'm going to be between 9 and 10, or I'm going to be here in the ones place. And now I'm ready to do the problem exact. And again, you can hit pause and give it a whirl on your own, and then check back with me. All right, here we go. How many 9's can you make out of 8? None. How many 9's can you make out of 84? 9. 9 times 9 is 81. We subtract, we get 3. Bring down the 0. How many 9's can we make out of 30? 3, which is 27. Subtract, we get 3. We can put another 0, as many zeros as we want. Bring down the 0. How many 9's can you make out of 30? 3, which is 27. Subtract, you get 3. You could put another 0. 30. How many 9s can you make out of 30? Oh, 3, which is 27. Are you noticing what's going to happen here? I'm hoping so. Why don't you push pause and write down what you believe the answer will be. All right, well, we said our answer should be between 9 and 10, so that means my decimal point is going to need to go here. And again, if I keep things lined up, I can go straight up. So 9 decimal point 3. Should I write all those 3's, and when should I stop writing them? Well, Mrs. Kelser, they repeat, they go on forever. Aha, so I can just put a repeating bar over that 3. That indicates that the 3 will repeat or go on. I believe that you are finished up with your last problem that you're doing with me. Alrighty, your next task is going to be to work on journal page 109. It looks like this. Make sure you follow the directions. You're going to make your estimate. So like in this one, I'm going to go, well, 3 times what is going to get me close to 36 and 6/10. That's what I'll put on this line. Okay, so my 3 times what gets me close to 36 and 6/10. And I'll circle my magnitude estimate, and there's not a lot of room on this page to do your work, so you may need to attach a page or write small. I do need to see your work though, and then once you have your final answer, it'll go on the answer line. Alrighty, good luck, do good work.